1, 2, Sarang!
Hey! Annyeong, this is Chancy.
Hello, this is Monica.
Hi, this is Pia and welcome to another episode of 1, 2, Sarang!
Woohoo! Yeah, we back.
So, movie na naman ang pag-uusapan namin, and this time around, it is even more exciting because we actually took part with something that the Korean Cultural Center in the Philippines had, because in celebration of Women's Month, nagpalabas sila ng different films na parang about women and made by women as well. So, sobrang nakakatuwa tong buong experience na to. If you haven't followed them yet on Facebook, please do follow them kung interested kayo kasi mahilig silang mga magpa-free screening. Kamusta talaga sa inyo yung buong experience of us
And
watching
IG
with
too.
them? Yeah, they have Instagram as well.
Ako, natuwa ako kasi libreng pelikula. Who
Correct.
doesn't want free stuff, right?
Well, yes. Yes to free. I did enjoy it too, except unfortunately, I didn't make it in time, but I still managed to figure out the film, so...
Correct.
Damn you, McKinley traffic.
I know.
But this film that we're talking about, sobrang meron kaming naisip na parang why do films like these find us? Parang may ganun. Because they actually they screened 3 films, and then ang nakuha namin, napasok sa schedule namin, is the one that is called Kim Min-young of the Report Card. So this one actually won the grand prize in the 22nd Jeonju International Film Festival. So syempre yung pinapalabas nila lagi ang mga award-winning. And if you could recall, even during the pandemic, meron din silang mga free screenings. They would have it online. Dito ko napanood yung Midnight Runners because of them. So, push because these award-winning movies, yun talaga yung lagi nilang pinapakita. So, I mean, and aside from that, a lot of cultural things. Shout out, Korean Cultural Center of the Philippines. Baka naman pwede namin kayong ma-interview. We should.
Yeah. Gusto yung may ambassadors kami.
And check out their stuff. Because I follow them on Instagram because they also have a library, they have language classes, and they have exhibitions. And unfortunately, we skipped a few.
Yeah.
They were really interesting. Sobrang sayang talaga. I wish we were able to go. But sobrang now that I know that they come up with these exhibits, the sobrang interesting. I can't wait for the next, and hopefully finally makakabisita na ako. Katayo, sana makabisita na tayo.
Pero saan ba? Saan ba sila pwedeng bisitahin?
Their office is based in Taguig. So, check nyo na lang din sa Facebook, Insta, and also their website is phil.korean-culture.org. Okay, so this movie, ayan, that is what we watched, and sobrang nakakatuwa lang din because as per usual, it's very relatable. This story is very universal. So it's about these 3 girls who all went to the same high school together, and what happened after they went to college or decided not to go to college. So, nagustuhan nyo ba yung film? And what parts did you like and what parts did you not like?
Kaya na mag-start late ako eh. Parang ako magsimula.
Parang the film is pretty much slice of life indie type. So, I mean, coming in, it can be a bit slow. Yes, because at some points, I've fallen asleep. For like a few seconds. Kaya meron ako isang malaking bucket ng popcorn to wake me up.
Correct.
Kasi medyo mabagal. May slowness kasi siya. Parang it's the kind of film na kailangan parang you're focused because like everything is in the nuances. It's all in like the small things that they do on screen. The movie is all about parang trying to find yourself in this world na very rigid, structured, ganon. Yung bida natin, parang she went against the grain, and parang I think we've already discussed this so much in many of our episodes, like, finding your own self in this world. And I mean, I feel like that's what I like about this film. Parang it's a reiteration of that. Very, nakakatuwa naman siya. It just takes like a lot of patience and focus para to get into it. Ayun.
It really was a good depiction of how we've talked about a lot about this a lot, about how the school system is and how important their CSAT is and how it defines the rest of your life. So parang yun pa lang parang medyo okay, parang madali nang masakyan sa atin. But I agree, it was super slow. It takes a lot of patience, or maybe baka ganun lang din, baka pagod lang din tayo this week kaya hindi natin siya masakyan, kaya merong mga parts na nakatulog din. Ako, same. Kasi at some point, parang hindi ko na kinaya mag-popcorn kasi parang nabusog na ako. Tapos parang,
Oo nga,
let
parang
go
ako
na.
nakaubos ng 3/4 ng bucket na yun.
At that point, parang nag-let go na ako. Sige na, itulog mo na, wag ka na lang humilik.
Oo.
How about you, Mon?
Aw.
Did you like it?
Oh my God, feeling ko ako yung humilik.
In fair, hindi. Wala naman ako narinig.
So, okay, reveal, no? So, lahat po kaming tatlo nakatulog. Ako nakatulog pa. Hindi, pero yeah, it was super slow. Sorry, pero yun talaga yung una kong sasabihin about it. It was too slow and also too quiet.
Yes.
Sobrang obvious na indie. I have nothing, I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just not my thing. May onting sorry, pero it's such a common trait in indie films. Yung mabagal slice of life,
very
quiet,
true.
brooding, whatever. I think it's fine. I mean, if it speaks the truth of the character being portrayed in that indie film, it's cool. But siguro hindi lang yun yung hinahanap ng katawan ko nung time na yun. Hindi ko siya usually hinahanap. And obviously, hindi yun yung hinanap ng katawan ko
At that
at
moment.
the time, at
Correct.
the day of, at that night of viewing. Yun.
After
But-
an hour and a half of driving.
I know. Like, I went through the traffic for the most comfiest sleep. Wow. Hindi naman. But I did. I mean, it's not like I slept through the entire thing.
Which parts did you like? Which stood out?
Siguro, ano na lang. I can't say talaga eh. Kasi sa sobrang pagod din siguro, snippets lang din talaga yung nasisilip ko. And I must say, natuwa naman ako. I found it admiring na lang how these actors were so unique in their own way. Like, yun, I think yun naman din yung gist ng film eh. Like,
Yeah.
parang yung ano niya, yung thesis statement niya is you do you. Kaya nga Kim Min Young of the report card. So basically, may report card, parang yung yung isang friend, si Jong Hee, binigyan niya ng grades yung friend niya, si Min Young, na hindi yung usual, alam mo yun, algebra, whatever, academic subjects. It was more of like how she is as a person. And I thought that was really cute. I mean, gets, kasi nandun nga sila sa stage in life na they're figuring out what they want to do. I thought it was like a good way of showing their truth. I heard, you read nga, apparently the filmmakers are also young. So, sobrang gets ko, sobrang na-feel ko yon na ito yung truth nila at the moment. Kaya ito yung klase ng pelikula na pinakita nila. And hindi naman dahil mas matanda na tayo and like we know more, na kaya tayo hindi nakarelate. I don't think so. I think it's a nice refresher din naman to go back to that time, like what we went through. Did I go through that? Or parang kumbaga, it was a nice thing to make you reflect then of how you thought of it. Our questions then was, how are we gonna succeed in life according to the future meaning ano yung mga magiging professions natin,
Correct.
ano yung magiging achievements natin,
Yeah.
when in fact we should also be thinking or analyzing how we are as persons.
Correct.
But I guess comes in later. I don't know. Ako, yun yung thing ko. Parang ako, puro achievements. Tapos later on in life na lang, ako nag-report card on myself of how am I as a person, because it seems like it's more important. So
That's
it's cute
true.
that they were actually addressing it. So, alam mo yun, at such a young, it's nakakatuwa na at such a young age, may ganun na silang thinking. I'm pretty sure naman may mga ganun talagang tao.
Yeah.
Ako, I like, yun nga, yung na-mention mo na, yung the whole report card thing and what it really means. Parang dun ako nag-latch on to actually, kasi parang may sense of universality din naman siya. In the film, it was depicted as academic grades, But as older people, it's, yun nga, as you've mentioned, yun nga, parang work, ganyan, ganyan, ganyan. I mean, ano ba yung mga milestones mo in life? Dapat ito yung naabot mo na at this point in your life. Kasi kundi aim, kundi F ka, ganyan. And they feel strongly na it shouldn't be, report carding yourself shouldn't be done after the experience. It should be while you're doing it.
During.
Oo. Kasi parang, you could learn so much more and be more yourself if you do it while you're trying to do whatever you're trying to do. So
Yeah. What I love about that whole report card thing is because we're seeing now how the friend Jong-hee views Kim Min-young. Because sometimes when, di ba, kapag meron kang friend, hindi mo na, ikaw, parang masyashock ka na, ganun pala tingin niya sa akin ng friend ko. And I feel like she kind of needed that also at that moment. She was trying to find herself in this university where she wanted na, gusto na niyang umalis because she couldn't find friends, na parang she needed like that kind of check. Although it was quite harsh kasi may mga moments, may mga parts dun sa report card na talagang pinoint out yung mga negative things and ganun. Kasi parang syempre, in Hallyu, minsan gusto natin yung mga light and bubbly, positive things,
correct.
right?
True.
Pero ito parang sinabi din na parang when it comes to like personality ba yun? Parang hindi ka maano kasi hindi ka marunong makitungo. Parang may mga ganyang mga comments sa kanya. Yeah. Diba? So parang, it's like, it's always like a delight because your friends are your friends. Parang hindi mo naman kailangang i-explain sa friend mo na friend kita kasi ganito.
Correct.
Pero parang yung ganun, parang it's nice to see yourself in the parang in the eyes of your friends. So I really love that whole thing. But ito pala, meron tayong na-miss na napaka-importante na sobrang cute din. It's because the three of them are together because they're all part of the Acrostic Poetry Club.
I know!
So yun yung high school thing nila. Meron silang Acrostic Poetry Club, as in literally they meet and then they just recite acrostic poems and then they put it on hold for the exam. And then nung nag-exam na sila, it was grappling at the straws na parang hindi ito yung pinaka-base ng friendship natin. Kailangan ituloy natin tong club na to. So what happens kung hindi na siya matutuloy? Parang may ganun siya. So parang, I love the concept of that club. It's so high school, right?
Totoo. I was actually part of our writers club.
Wow!
Before. Wow! Sharing lang. As in, and like, syempre weekly yung clubs, di ba? And then, at the end of, like, every quarter, tama? Every semester, parang magkakaroon kami ng, like, parang showcase of our work. So, we would like set up this, like, little stage in some area in the school. Tapos, mag-invite kami ng mga tao manood during lunch. Tapos, magbabasa lang kami ng poetry namin!
Ay, cute! I love it!
So, may mga ganong high school cuteness.
How about you,
that was so
Mon? Did
cute.
you have any club experiences like that?
No. I was part of a religious club, guys.
No,
We served in
serious?
mass.
Ano
Kami yung
nangyari?
mass servers.
Wala na, fun yun. Ako gusto ko hindi, ewan
Paano
ko.
ka napadpad
Ang fun
dun?
niya, di ba?
Actually,
Chapel Angels.
love ako pakinggan kami ng moderate, ng club moderator. Nasa friend ko pa siya sa Facebook
ka
tsaka
napadpad
IG.
dun?
Nilalike pa niya yung story ko minsan.
Magkaalaman na tayo. Tanda na tayo, Monica.
Oo nga eh. But anyway, technically, so barkada. The only reason, one of the major reasons why we joined that club was because we knew no one was really gonna sign up for it and we wanted to be together.
Oh!
Kasi diba yung maraming clubs, tas may limits din yun eh, diba? Kaya up to 50 lang, 30 or something. So we joined that club para sure ball lahat kami in that club. And then, true enough, I mean, yeah, magkakasama kami, friendship, and at the same time, serve kami ng mass. So, alam mo yun, kami
Parang
Sorry
kayong
na.
backstage ng mass, di ba? Kayo nag-SM,
kami yung
ganun.
SM ng mass. Oo.
Kayo ba yung kasama nung
And-
pare pag naglalakad siya sa gitna?
Yes,
Di ba may
yes.
dalang ano?
Yes.
Para sa
Like,
sacristan.
tagahawa, sacristan, pero female. Kaya we couldn't be called the acolyte, we couldn't be called the sacristans, we were called the acolytes. O, diba?
Wow, very
Parang-
cultish.
Parang wrestling lang.
Very Dungeons and Dragons. Oh!
O, diba? But yeah, it's
Ikaw,
fun.
Pia.
Clubs and stuff.
Actually, well, I had a lot of clubs as a very extracurricular person.
Oo.
I joined the pep squad. I also joined the school paper. But then when you said yung yung tungkol dun sa parang mga poetry reading, kasi nga 'di ba nabanggit ko dati English section kami. As a bibo-bibo na class, nag-organize kami ng ganun parang art poetry night, Chenes, na ginawa namin sa mini forest sa school, and no one's ever done that. So parang kami yung first na nagpa-reserve ng area, tapos latag-latag ng mats. Yung parang artsy talaga na parang kaming mga
I love it.
high school na parang feel namin na this is art, guys.
Yeah.
Pero parang, sa true, pero yun, may ganun kaming ginawa nung high school.
Pero sa truth naman din, at that point naman, yun yung nararamdaman natin.
Correct.
So very legit naman din yun.
Correct.
Sense of pride pa din, di ba? Oo.
Speaking of friendships, sige, go ahead first.
Hindi. Gusto ko lang i-mention na, so in the report card, na hindi lang academic report card, nakakatuwa, sobrang natuwa lang ako na pinasok niya sa isa sa mga quote-and-quote subjects, yung being a Korean. Because like, natuwa ako because, like, it kind of made me think, I mean, they didn't really explain straightforwardly kung ano yung ibig sabihin ng being a Korean. Pero hindi ko rin alam kung naintindihan natin or naintindihan
as
ko
non-Koreans.
ng mas madali kasi we've been watching so much Korean content. So we kind of know their culture or their ugali, and but parang it seemed like what she meant was being a Korean would mean yung ugali nila of striving for the best. Parang may ganon. Kasi parang si Minyoung, tama diba? She failed that, parang Jonghi failed Minyoung in being a Korean. If I remember correctly. But anyway, ang point lang naman is, parang ang point ko lang naman is, inanalyze niya yung friend niya on being a Korean. And it got me thinking about us. Like, do we analyze ourselves as a Filipino? I mean,
wow.
Parang,
girl, this is like a whole other episode altogether.
Sorry. Pero diba, if you think of, I don't know, parang it's like a something na, like, do we analyze ourselves as Filipinos? Like,
parang it's not
is
up
that a
in
good
the
thing or a bad thing?
I feel like it's
not a bad.
I mean, for me, now that you've mentioned it, like, I feel like I should do that. You know, I mean, I feel so strongly about so many things happening around the country, not just happening to myself. I mean, like, the whole fiasco talaga from last year, alam mo yun, na parang like, that in itself is trying to be part of our country as a citizen. But when that stopped, I never saw myself as a Filipino in that sense again. So, ano yun, something to ponder on.
Yeah. I think it also goes back na naman sa nakikita natin lagi yung mga Koreans, iba talaga yung patriotism nila and sense of sense of pride with being part of this country, na parang tayo kasi, to be fair, iba din naman kasi sobrang magkaiba yung history natin sa history nila. But like for the longest time, and I know that I was like this, na wala colonial mentality I wasn't, parang mas gusto kong mag-aspire to be Western. Like, when I was younger, that was my thing. And then when I finally realized through, like, literature and art and the things that you read in school, ganyan, na parang, okay, teka lang, mali pala yung gantong mindset. Dun pa lang siya papasok. So, hopefully, we're on the way there because now, parang things have changed already. I think people now are more looking for that sense of belonging to a country or a nation, hopefully. With the global world that we have. So,
although, nung sa film, when she said being a Korean, for me, it didn't come off as, like, super positive. Alam mo yun? Parang kung may negative connotation din siya, in a way. Kasi parang I feel like Minyoung didn't see herself
exactly
as a Korean being a Korean. Alam mo yun? Because she went against that, actually.
Correct.
So, alam mo yun.
Actually, yeah, I kind of remember na. I think, kung tama yung naalala ko, mababa yung grade niya in being a Korean.
Yes.
Because nga, in-acknowledge ni Jonghi na Minyoung is her own person. So, kumbaga, hindi siya nag-a-adapt to, hindi niya ginagawa yung mga expectations as a society, expectations of a Korean society from Minyoung, even though she's trying. Parang gets, she's trying, but she keeps on failing. So, Jong-hee grading Minyoung na fail nga siya sa being a Korean is actually a positive thing kasi parang it was strengthening na you do you, my friend. Alam mo yun. You don't have to be a Korean in a sense na you don't have to adhere to what Korean society expects you
Correct.
to be. Parang
Correct.
gano'n.
And I
So,
think that's also parang emphasized by the fact na 'di ba yung family niya, family ng military men. So ibang klase ng patriotism ang meron kapag nasa military. So maybe that's her
correct.
kind of rebellion from that kind of life. That's what she's kaya parang maybe that's why there's that recognition that it's fine. Just find it however you want to find it. Parang ganon. So, there were so many things that she was graded on. But, eto na. Kasi yung pinaka-main meat na naman talaga of the movie is really the friendship and how it and how it evolves throughout the years from high school to going to college. And especially since si Minyoung tsaka si Jong-hee were roommates in the dorm. So, parang mas established pa, kumbaga, yung friendship nilang dalawa as roommates. They have all those cute moments together and I guess things that only your roommate could know about you. And then they now enter this world na, yun, nag-iba-iba talaga sila ng path tatlo. So this one is something that I'm pretty sure everybody goes through. After high school, what's next? And madami ako nakikita na parang ang dami ding nagsasabi like, sometimes there are breakups and friendships na nangyayari talaga. Inevitably, maybe you just drift apart. Maybe you really had a fight. Or kung paano man yan. Basta those things nag-end. And unfortunately, and dami nagsabi namang naka-experience nun, it's even worse than like a breakup with a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Kasi iba yung friendship breakup. May na-experience na ba kayong friendship breakup?
Yeah.
oh yeah. Super.
Talaga?
Different kinds.
Madami.
Yeah.
Pero different kinds. Meaning like different ways it ended. Tama ba?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what happened? Like, what can you tell us about those breakups? How did you navigate those waters?
Wow.
Grabe.
Okay.
Mine sa akin, it ranges. Extremes pa siya. Like, one of the first breakups, I would say. Oh. Parang, so after high school, we just drifted apart with some of our friends na barkada namin in high school. So, nung college, as in zero communication na with that person. Somehow, somewhat intentionally because it seemed like parang, I don't know, there was a realization somewhere na hindi naman ata talaga kami friends nung high school.
Sakit.
Parang may ganon. So, it was just a separation. Ano naman, wala, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but my gosh, we were so young. We probably should have talked about it, but it was one of those na we just stopped talking. And then, alam mo yun. And then, di rin nakatulong kasi that they went to college far away, outside the country. So, nakatulong din yun sa, pag-communicate. Or, gets, in a way, mas madali to break up because you don't really have to like follow up on the friend.
Correct.
But at the same time, I guess mas masakit kasi mas malaki yung questioning of what happened. Alam mo yun?
Oo.
Yeah.
Gets.
Yeah.
How
Ako,
about you, Chance?
high school, I think I've been very lucky kasi, hi guys! Gusto ko talaga na, kasi parang, parang maliit lang yung barkada. We're just 4 girls in my high school barkada. And, I mean, until now, we're really, really still very close. Iyak ako. And I feel like,
It's a safe space.
I know. Parang, like, I feel like they're really the people who understand me the most. As in, parang, sobrang magkakaiba kaming 4 na tao. Pero parang, for some reason, we just kind of just accepted who we are to each other. So, in terms of, like, high school barkada types, parang walang breakup of that level as it is in the movie. It's in the latter part of my life, I guess, yung older na tayo, we're like dealing with so many stuff that you kind of just understand that there are people who just come and go in your life. And accepted ko na yun, na ganun talaga siya. But I guess like there's some friendships kasi na parang yung come and go na yun, it doesn't just flow naturally. Parang nagkakaroon ka ng conflict, and I feel like those are the hardest. I mean, I try to, be still friends with all my friends from way back, but parang there are really some na parang kailangan mo na lang talaga siyang i-let go. Alam mo yun? And
Correct.
acceptance na lang.
Yeah.
Tsaka parang for me, parang I feel like I'm a very people pleaser kind of person na parang for my own sanity, alam mo yun, baka kailangan na siya talagang i-let go. And those are like just really the hardest.
Ikaw, Bia.
Kasi parang actually kanina when I asked the question, in my head, wala akong friendship breakup. Kasi parang sabi ko, I'm still friends with everybody. I mean, obviously not as close as we were in high school. And then bigla akong naalala na, meron pala akong moment na na-feel kong nag-break kami. So, I had a best friend, parang from 6th grade kami talaga yung best friends ever since ganyan. And then when we were in college, mga 2nd or 3rd year, she moved na to Canada. So that time, it was still pretty easy to keep in touch because we still had, parang she would call me regularly and I could still reply to her texts. And there was like, I guess messenger and emails. But we would still keep in touch during that time. But I think, ang dami kasing nangyari sa aming dalawa. And then, parang nagkaroon lang ng moment na hindi na talaga kami nag-a-agree when it comes to like things that mattered to me. Parang meron siyang mga sinasabi sa akin na parang nasya-shock ako na, hala, hindi ikaw yung taong yun nakausap ko dati. Parang yun talaga yung sabihin mo sa akin. So there, it's sad, but it's a reality. I guess everybody goes through it pala, no?
Oh.
Yeah, because there are different talaga turns to everyone has different turns, and you really can't expect that everyone would be on the same lane, on the same
Exactly.
road as you. Like, I still have super minor, yung kunento kanina, super minor breakup pa yun. Like, I'd say I have a few more that's a little bit more sad, I guess, mas malungkot. Pero on the plus side, there are those na like, I know for now we're not as close, pero alam ko na they're still there. Alam mo yun.
Yeah.
And I'm still there for them too. Like,
Correct.
maybe we're just not on that space, on the same space right now. And ano din ang hirap din talaga yung, lalo na nung college, syempre, talagang nalatag talaga na iba talaga yung gusto na mga likes and alam mo yun, dislikes and whatever. And you actually become bolder with, your life choices as you
Correct.
grow older. But good news is, I know that they're still there. I mean, they don't have to like save my ass or anything, but just knowing that they're still there and I can still call them friend kahit na weird na yung hindi na siya yung definition of friend the way it was defined back in high school, I guess.
Correct. Correct.
It's still there, and I'm grateful that it's still there.
To make this lang a little bit lighter, parang na-feel ko talaga na grabe. Pero alam niyo, di ba sa How I Met Your Mother, there is this, parang sinasabi nila, na parang kapag kasama mo yung group of friends mo from a certain period of your life, nagre-regress ka. Parang bigla kang nagiging nung age na yon or whatever. That is about
Correct.
high school Trency or high school Monica. Paano kayo kapag kasama niyo yung mga high school friends ninyo?
Girl,
Oh
alam
my
mo, sa
God.
totoo lang, ako pa rin yun. Parang walang nagbago sa
And
akin.
parang hindi kami nagdududa.
Oo. Parang siguro yun nga, yung bolder lang. Alam mo yun, na parang, I think nung high school ako, mas careful, mas pacifier akong tao nun. Pacifier pa rin naman ako pero parang hindi na ako ganun katakot to, like, say what's on my mind. Alam mo yun? Versus dati na parang like, I don't wanna, boil the pot. Ano ba yan? Boil the pot? Ano bang term yun?
Stir the pot.
Stir the pot. Boil the pot. Oh, parang alam mo yun, may ganun
Parang
akong
gets it.
jams
Same,
nun.
same.
Oo. So, parang ngayon medyo mas, pero I mean, I'm still pretty much like that.
I think,
Ikaw,
yeah.
Mon.
Same then. My high school barkada was a big one and we were loud. We were noisy. We were active. Kami yung naglalaro ng patintero pag recess and lunch.
Ang saya.
Yeah. So, it actually made sense why I was drawn to TA. Because it felt like my high school barkada all over again. Because we were loud. Alam mo yun? And I would say na in both high school and college, we were loud, but I'm like not. You guys know I'm an INFP. I can be loud with you guys, pero normally hindi ako yung instigator. Like I like to check things out first before joining in the fun, or alam mo yon, parang may limitations to my energy, I guess, or my hesitance din because I can be very shy. Parang ganun na ganun din ako ng high school. I had friends who were louder. Alam mo yan?
Yeah.
And same din with college friends. And siguro the changes na lang would be, parang I'm also not necessarily pacifier, but I was usually always the person na kung may away, both sides talk to. And because I really don't like choosing sides as much as possible.
Yeah.
In fact, I like defending the opposite side. Alam mo yun, all the time. Because like, well, I don't know. It's a hobby. Well, hobby talaga. I don't know. Hindi naman. But I don't know. It's a thing. A trait ko rin yun as a Taurus. As a matigas na ulo na ipapaglaban ko kung ano yung opposite. Either just because or just because I wanna give the other person, the other side a chance. Parang ganun. Or to hear out the other side first. And I would say that I'm sort of kind of like that pa rin with current friends. Except now, dati kasi naalala ko kung kunwari may problema, may away, may whatever, I really get so consumed by it na I wanna do. I push for, no, give her a chance, or alam mo yon, I go for that. But as I grow older, na-realize ko talaga that there are people who don't really connect or really don't get along, and that it's okay.
And I feel like it's also growth in your part. Hindi naman sa ililit going friend mo dahil hindi na siyang fit in sa life mo. Pero parang knowing na parang ito ka na ngayon, at not necessarily hindi siya mag-fit, but siya mismo din hindi na rin niya gustong pumasok dun. Okay lang. Alam mo yun, kasi you've already grown onto yourself. Pag bata pa tayo, what the fuck do we know? Right? Alam mo yun?
Correct.
Diba?
Or more so like yun nga, na-hurt kasi ako pag, ba't tayo lahat nag-aaway? Dapat one lang tayo. Tapos pero ngayon, parang,
unity ka rin pala
I get it. Unity. Kaya ako naka-green eh.
Sabihin ko rin yun!
Ako talaga yung susuka. Hindi ikaw, Pia. Anyway. Parang ngayon, yun nga, medyo may onting watak-watak kami and stuff. But, kumbaga, individual relationships na lang siya. Dati, I would be hurt by it kasi parang what happened to us before. But now, yun nga, like what I said, I understand now that paths are different.
Correct.
And it can't always be like before. Like,
Correct.
things change. So, and it's okay.
True.
Ikaw.
Meron kami dati nung...
Iiyak na yan.
Hindi. Actually, nakakatawa yung isa-share ko kasi parang, yun nga, parang regression. Naalala ko lang kasi before, like, yung mga childhood friends ko, may neighbors. Kasi dati, so parang ako lang yung may probinsya na Mindanao kasi ang probinsya nila Luzon. So ito pag Holy Week, syempre nawawala kaming lahat. Tapos pag nakikita-kita kami ulit, pinagtitripan nila ako kasi meron akong thing before na kapag galing ako ng Mindanao, biglang may accent na Bisaya. May ganon. So parang naging thing namin yon na kapag nag-uusap kami, laging may Bisaya accent. Kasi yun nga, pang-asar nila and whatever. So nag-continue yun hanggang sa nung parang nung mga high school na kami. Tapos nagkita-kita kami sa mall. Tapos alam mo yun, parang mag-accent kami. Tapos parang, huy, sandali lang, nakakahiya naman. Huwag natin tong ituloy. Parang huwag naman dito. Baka isipin ng tao. Like, it's not even like, looks like they were making fun of me, but more of like, dapat prim and proper tayo dito. May mga kadate tayo. Tapos na yung Bisaya accent. Parang ganun.
Oo.
Nakakatawa lang kasi parang, yun.
Well,
and
cute naman ang Bisaya accent.
Ooh.
as in, meron kaming ganun. Meron kaming mga, anyway, ayoko nang balikan. Kasi kasama ko sila kahapon, kaya natatawa ako pag naalala. Anyway, ayun, meron kaming ganun na shtick nung mga yun. But I want to ask before, okay, meron akong 2 follow-up questions from the things that you shared. Well, first, ito yung something actually na napag-usapan din natin recently because we also met up with friends who came from like a different country. Hi, Mara! And then we also talked to another friend na matagal na rin nating hindi nakikita. Hi, Nana! So, parang may napansin nyo ba na parang sometimes like, parang yung common thread na napag-usapan natin. High school friends are far more protective than any other friends that you have. Is that true for everyone or parang hasty generalization? Syempre, all generalizations are not right.
Ako,
But yeah,
oo.
what do you guys think?
I had a phase in my mid-20s. Yun talagang phase na nagkalat talaga ako. And of all the people, kasi they knew me before that. And when they saw this version of me, they didn't know who the fuck it was. So they were kind of protective of me. Alam mo yun, parang, I mean, I knew naman na parang whenever they talk to me about it, it was out of love and care. Pero of course, at that time, parang ako like, don't tell me what to do. May ganun.
Correct.
Alam mo yun? Pero doon ko talaga na-sense yun nga, na parang, since because, you know, when we're younger, parang, tas magbago tayo, tas when we grow up, nagbabago talaga eh. And then I think dun nanggagaling yung protectiveness. Kasi parang we all kind of wanna protect how we know each other. Pero yun yung journey na lang na parang eventually you just kind of just accept na okay, eto ka na ngayon. At the core of you, yan ka pa din. May konting parang palabok na nga lang. Alam mo yun? You're still you. But there are also different parts of you na added on as, you know, with all the experiences you've had in your life. And I love them for it, as in, super. Parang, kaya with them, parang I can just be myself. Alam mo yun? As much as I am with you guys. Alam mo yun? Parang like, my friends back in the day when I'm like young and impressionable. Wow. Parang I feel like those are the friends that I can just be myself in that sense.
Yes.
Yun lang.
Gets. How about you, Mon? What do you think?
I have these older, yung one of my first few friends din talaga. Yeah. I mean, yung question is, are we more protective? Yeah, in a sense that maybe even protective of our friendship. Does that make sense? Na-confuse ako.
Yeah.
Kasi
Yeah.
like, hindi
Makes
ako,
sense.
hindi ako protective like I would, of course I would defend her if like something comes up and all that. Pero, nandun din ako sa, okay, buhay mo yan, do whatever you want. Alam mo yun. But I will protect that we're still friends.
Gets.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yun yung time na I don't know where I'm going at. Pero syempre yun yung time na akala natin we can do whatever we want.
Correct.
And then
World is at our
suddenly,
feet.
Suddenly we meet the world and then realize na shit, ang daming problema ng real life. Alam mo yun?
Yeah.
So, I don't know, baka merong onting may onting sabit doon na nako, we're so hurt right now because we're living reality. But back in the day, we knew we could do it. So, kumbaga, baka rin self-reflection siya na protektahin mo rin yung sarili mo na kaya natin to. I don't know, just having that thought can already make a difference
Kumbaga
in
parang,
terms of surviving.
parang you're protecting your inner child. And
In
your
a
inner
way,
child
if
is
you think about
reflected on your childhood friends.
Correct.
Parang
Diba?
ganon.
Kasi the moment that gets ruined, it's like, hala, saan ka na anchor?
True.
Or, pwede pa naman. I think there are other friends. Like, I consider my college friends as next of kin. Next of kin anchors. Does that make sense? Pero, alam mo yon, parang, that's still a big blow if, like, you lose that latch.
Yeah, true.
True.
Sorry, meron lang ako na-realize, now we're talking about it. Protectiveness with my high school friends. As in na parang family muna sila in a way kasi parang you know, you've been through so much. Kasi with like other friends, parang I don't really care so much about their partners. Pero pag high school friends ko na,
Iba.
sobrang iba eh. Bothered.
Pakialamera talaga sa
Diba?
boyfriend.
As in,
Oo,
pakialamera sa
totoo
boyfriend.
yan.
May opinion ka parati kung sinong jowa.
Correct.
Kung sino pinakasalan. Hi, Mike. Hi, Emvin.
No, exactly. That was the story I was gonna tell also kasi.
Yun.
Like,
Oo.
I was also super like that with my friends. And parang, ngayon ko lang na-realize nung high school and college, parang, oh my God, salamat, kaibigan niyo pa rin ako kasi gaga
Oo.
talaga. But anyway, parang
Same.
meron pang isang time. So, parang nung college, so, yung meron kaming mga nicknames. So, tawag nila sa akin, ako daw si Hayop Umibig. Tapos yung isa, si Baby Dragon. Tapos yung isa, si Smith and Kitten. So, si Baby Dragon, ayaw niya sa boyfriend ni Smith and Kitten. So, galit siya. Parang nasa shakies kami sa Katipunan. Tapos parang, di kakain na, ganyan. Tapos napansin niya, nagmamadaling kumain. Tapos sabi niya, so ano, aalis ka? Iiwanan mo talaga kami? Yung may ganyan drama, nagka-stand off talaga kami sa shakies habang yung boyfriend niya nasa labas. Yung nakahintay na sa sasakyan. Hindi na niya alam gagawin niya. Tapos parang, I was trying to, parang sige, i-let go mo na, hayaan mo na, ganyan. So, hinayaan na niyang umalis. Tapos parang I was trying to calm down si Baby Dragon. Sabi ko kay Baby Dragon, hayaan mo na, if parang, kung gusto niyang gawin yan, let her do her own mistakes. Parang gumanon ako. Tapos sinabi niya kay Smith and Kitten yung sinabi ko. Sabi niya sa akin, so all this time, I thought you were supporting me. Tingin mo pala sa relasyon ko, mistake. Ganyan. Sabi ko, nag-blow up talaga yung whole thing na yun. College, ang lala talaga.
Pero nakakatawa kasi friends pa rin kayo. Bilang kilala natin kung sino yung dalawang yan.
Actually.
Shout out.
Meron ako sort of similar story. Yung isang friend ko, she's the first one to get married in our high school barkada. Tapos doon, matagal na yung jowa yun. And at that time, na sila, they're engaged. Tapos parang kami, kasi apat lang kami. Tapos yung isa medyo humiwalay na ng konti. So kami dalawa na lang yung mag-uusap parati. And then the other one who's like engaged. So, parang kami nung isang single girl din. Sabi, parang hindi na siya prating kasama. So namin siya. Binul session namin siya sa BF.
Oh my God!
Kasi doon natin yung jowa niya. In-open forum namin siya sa isang restaurant na parang, hindi na kami prating kasama. Iniwan mo na kami. Pinagpalit mo na kami for your boyfriend's friends. You're always with them. You're not even with us. Ganyan. Buti mang kaibigan pa rin kami hanggang ngayon.
Diba? But I think the good thing is about yung mga kwento natin tatlo is that somehow, nag-survive yung friendship. Hindi naman ito yung mga friendship breakup kung kanino tayo naging protective. So, to sum everything up, ito na lang, itong question ko sa inyo. Anong gusto nyong sabihin sa high school friend ninyo? Message na particularly about, there are friendships there, but you can't expect all of these friendships to be there forever. There's gonna be a friendship breakup happening along the way. Kung meron kayong words of comfort or wisdom or advice sa high school friend ninyo along those lines, anong gusto nyong sabihin? Hala, iyakan ba? Naiyak si Trency? Naiyak ka?
Iyak ako. Ako na ba? Okay, ako na. Yeah, muna na ako. Medyo, lang ako ngayon, very emotional about this question. Kasi, one of my high school friends just went through so much. The past, few weeks. And, I'm just very happy that I can be there for her. And she's had like a tough life. And I'm just so happy to see na she's still that kind, caring person despite all of it. And that's it. Yun lang. So, and to the other two talaga. Parang, I'm so glad na parang we had a bit of a lull nung college years and even until like the late 20s, ganyan. But I'm so happy that we still found each other. And we kind of know our stride and our flow na. And now, despite everything that's happening in our individual lives, during milestones, we know that we are each other's number ones. So, yun lang. Thank you po. I love you guys so much.
And I'm sure that's super reciprocated. And also, you're a good friend. Like, don't even doubt for a moment na parang inisip nila na, na hindi. Because how could this friendship survive throughout all of this? And sabi mo, ang daming trials and all of that. And you guys are still there for each other.
Grabe.
So you deserve a star, an A++ for your
Thanks
friendship
so
report
much.
card.
Huy, hindi ko naman expect na maging ganito to recording na to. Akala ko ba tinulugan
Actually,
lang natin tong itong pelikula na to.
Nagulat ako sa'yo, ba't ka naiyak eh? Hindi ko rin sure kung bakit. Tinatry ko nga kanina na parang but thank you for sharing your vulnerability, and I'm sure a lot of people who are listening to us are also appreciating it. Naku, i-text nyo na yung mga kaibigan nyo, sabihin nyo sa kanila, I appreciate you. Mga ganyan. I love you, friend. Go. Ikaw naman,
Always.
Mon, dapat pala nilast natin si Tensi. Okay.
Actually. So, hindi, umiiyak na kasi siya eh.
Tama din
Para
naman.
ma-release na niya, di ba?
Ang hirap.
I feel like to my high school friends, baka maiyak din ako. Iyak na bigla. We really don't get to see much of each other anymore. I feel like we've really lived our lives separately, and I wish we talked more, we saw each other more, pero alam ko din naman na may kanya-kanya kaming goals na gustong i-achieve. And for that, I just want to say na I'm always, always proud of you guys. Na kahit na hindi na tayo nakikita.
Hello.
Bigla tayo umiiyak. Kahit na hindi na tayo nakikita, at alam mo yon, it's not the same anymore. There's comfort though that in the rare times that we are together, it still always feels the same. The laughter, the loudness, it's still there. And I'll always love that. So, I wish, siguro na lang, sana makaganon tayo soon. Gusto kong tumawa at alam mo yun, yung sakit sa tawa talaga na, alam mo yun, punit na ata yung buong tiyan ko, pero tumatawa pa rin ako. Alam mo yun, as in, miss ko na talaga yung ganong klaseng moments with you guys. But anyway, very proud of you guys, and know that I'll always love you and I'll always support whatever it is that you guys do. So,
bilis, i-text mo na rin sila. Sabihin mo sa kanila.
tawa ulit
lunch tayo. Ganyan.
Pia.
Well, parang sabi ko, mape-pressure ba akong umiyak? Parang wala yata ako sa
Damdamin mo
mindset
lang.
umiyak. Hindi, pero parang, first, gusto ko munang sabihin sa high school self ko na parang, hoy, relax. Relax. Hindi tungkol sa'yo lahat ng bagay. Hindi porket may binoyfriend siya, parang it's against you. Decision niya yon. Wag mo nang don't take it against that person. Carry lang yan. Parang gusto mo yung ganun sa kanya. But then, with my high school friends, I wanna tell them na sobrang thankful din ako na throughout all of these years, we've seen each other through a lot. I'm so proud of everyone also. Nung sinabi ni Mon yun, parang nakita ko, shit, nandun na tayo sa stage. Pero kasi parang, hindi na siya yung feeling mo na superficial kind of proud. Like when you're in your 20s, you're like proud of them. Pero parang, talaga ba? Parang ano bang level ng na-achieve? Diba? Parang, pero now, like with everything that happened, parang, wow, guys, sobrang talaga. I'm so proud of all of you guys and everything that you achieved. And I'm so thankful na sa kabila nung lahat ng mga pinagdaanan. Like, sobrang daming away, petty, tsaka malalaking fights talaga. We were able to withstand everything. And thank you for understanding me na hindi na rin ako magkakaroon ng time usually to hang out and things like that because of other things that I'm doing. But, eto na. I think malapit nang tayong pwedeng magkita-kita ulit and catch up with each other. Halos lahat kasi mga may pamilya, may anak na so ang hirap talagang mag-find ng common time and schedule for us to be able to, But yun, sobrang salamat and mahal na mahal ko kayo. Natatawa pa rin ako na every time nakikita tayo, those old memories, those old stories, diba? Lagi nagbe-bring up and nakakatawa pa rin siya. So, yun lang. Shout out to our high school barkadas.
love you.
Parang I saw this graph of like how our friendships go. So parang pagbata ka pa, syempre mataas pa yan, sila pa yung kasama. And then pag magka-family ka na, bababa yan. But then when your kids are older, and you are also older, babalik yan lahat.
Correct.
Oo. So parang kita-kits na lang tayo pag nasa 50 na tayo. 50s, 60s.
Correct. Totoo. And I also wanted to add na thanks to Hallyu kasi ang dami ko talagang na-reconnect na friendships because of this. Like, grabe, like people that I haven't talked to in years. And sorry, to be frank, I never even thought about. You know what I mean? Parang, okay, tapos usap tayo, tas chika, tas ang saya, yung ganun. So, sobrang thankful din ako sa Hallyu because of that.
I love it. Brings us all closer to each other.
And now, we've come to the part of the episode where we are gonna play a game. At ngayon naman, sisimplihan lang natin yung game natin. It's more of like mga, anong tawag doon? Mga fantasy football, di ba? May mga ganyang mga pa-effect. So, ganyan ang gagawin natin ngayon. Create your Hallyu High School Barkada of 3. Pwede bang ako naman mauna ngayon para hindi ako last?
Yeah.
Okay, go.
Sure.
Kasi kanina ako yung nalalas, parang bumababa energy. Anyway, okay. So, ang aking Hallyu High School Barkada of 3. So, naisip ko siya kanina na parang, alam ko na, ang gusto kong kabarkada, number 1, si Miju. Si Miju kasi nakakatawa siya, tas parang lahat gagawin niya sa'yo, gagawin niya para sa'yo as a friend, tapos nakakatawa pa siya. Parang ganon. So, parang yun yung role niya, the ever dependable friend who's there in the barkada. Tapos yung isa pa naming kabarkada is si Jessie. So kaming tatlo ang magkakasama na parang naisip ko, ang role ko sa barkada, yung feeling ko, leader ako. Pero parang si Jessie, sinasabi niya kay Miju na, hayaan mo na siyang isipin niya yun, pero alam naman nating ako yung totoong leader. Yung parang may ganyan klaseng dynamics, yung gano'n. Tapos parang medyo kami ni Miji yung medyo parang pa-prim and proper, pero si Jessie yung parang, hindi, tara, inom tayo. Yung parang siya yung consentidor ng gano'n ng fun. So yun yung na-imagine kong Hallyu Barkada of 3. Who wants to go first?
Exciting.
Chancy, Mon.
Ako na. Okay. So yung sa akin, because I like Kalog people. So, number 1 ko is si Wee-In of Mamamoo. She's also my bias. Because, like, as in, feeling ko talaga same wavelength kami to a certain degree. And I feel like, other than the kalogness, she has also this, like, kind of, parang, unique artsiness about her na I feel like baka we can also talk about it on that level. So, may mga ganong kaming klaseng conversations type. And then, yung second ko is, panganay ako. Pero feeling ko, gusto ko nang mas matanda sa akin. Tapos si Wee-In yung maknae namin. So, ako yung middle child. So, yung eldest namin, dito sa group na to, of 3, is si Sonia Jin. Kasi may, alam mo, may kalog tong bruhang to eh. Alam mo yun?
Meron nga.
Alam mo yun? Pero feeling ko, she also has this like kind of groundedness about her. And I feel like, parang ako kasi medyo lutang ako. Si Wee-In feeling ko lutang din. So, kailangan namin ng Sonia Jin na kalog pero may groundedness. Na parang, guys, kalma. Parang siya yung gaganon. So, ayun. So, kaya Sonia Jin nandito. Also, marami siyang pera. So, pwede niya kaming ilibre parate. Yun lang po.
Tapos ang pogi pa ng asawa niya, pwede kayo ipakilala sa ibang pogi friends.
Correct. Totoo yan. Introduce us, sir. So, yun. That's my barkada of 3. Sana magkatotoo.
And
wow!
also by virtue of being friends with her, naging A-lister na rin kayo.
Exactly. Lahat ng mga events, nandun siya. Tapos, every time may lalabas siya dispatch, nandun kami nakablur sa likod. So, in a way, sikat na rin ako.
Take that dispatch. That is me. Pixelized.
Yeah. Paki-release yung non-pixelized version.
ikaw magpo-post sa IG mo.
For clout.
Ako yun, no? Nakabilog pa.
Correct.
I love it.
Ayan.
Ikaw, Mon.
Monica.
It's so odd, but for some reason, I thought of guys as my barkada.
Oh, okay.
Like, and it really, really makes sense if you hear me out. The first member of this trio would be Namjoon. For obvious reasons, like just how appreciating life through art, exploring things through art, and just that quiet calm about things. I feel like it would make sense why we can be friends. But at the same time, I have this personality na kailangan medyo controlling in a way or gets kayang magpastol. Pastol, favorite word of the day. Pastol ng bata. At we know that Namjoon is clumsy and, you know, so I feel like I'd really be the type na aalagaan siya in a sense na ano ba? Tingnan mo kasi yung nilalakaran mo, parang hindi ka mabangga, parang mga ganon.
Correct.
So that will make sense. And then, ang napansin ko lang din how I am with friends. Parang to balance it out. So Namjoon and I would probably be quiet, on the quiet side. So we need someone loud to like kind of inject the fun. So of course, we bring in Jin.
Akala ko si Songkwan.
Songkwon was actually on my list. But somehow, Jin, sorry, medyo finactorin ko rin kasi yung age.
Oo.
So we can be friends with them.
Yeah, I know. Songkwon was actually number 1 on my list. But pwedeng Jin, pwedeng Songkwon. Pero feeling ko mas Jin kasi baka ma-in love ako kay Songkwon. Wow!
Wow!
Saya!
And that is another K-drama altogether.
Correct.
Diba?
Bakit si Jin?
Pero si Jin kasi, I swear, he's like, I've always thought of him as like a danchua, my danchua. Like,
Shout
someone out. Siya yung talagang siya yung magsisteer ng pot and like would give me the courage, probably Namjoon also, to do things kasi nga we're shy and whatever. And at the same time, siya yung tipong would say shit about you kung may mali ako, no holds barred. Kasi tanga ka ganun. Pero hindi ako ma-hurt. And he'll say it in a funny way, pero magigets ko. Alam mo yun? We always need that loud side. Parang siya yung pang sound off ng inner feelings, I guess, because we can't always be shy. But at the same time, you think about it, Jin is also shy.
Yeah.
So it makes sense, diba? Introvert siya. So it makes sense na among us, siya yung loud. Pero as a group, kami pa rin yung, wag tayo sa club, dun lang tayo sa inuman para tahimik. Parang gano'n. Para we can talk. It totally makes sense na parang, alam mo yun, ganun yung klaseng barkada that I get into.
I love it.
Puro
Kaya
mga boys
naman, sa ating mga listeners, baka meron din kayong naisip na Hallyu High School Barkada of 3. Napaka-importante ng high school kasi iba pa yung stage in life na kung nasan tayo doon and parang iba yung personalities doon. So, let us know. I-comment nyo sa social media namin. And thank you so much for listening to our episode. Sana na-enjoy ninyo. And please do follow KCZ Phil sa kanilang Facebook, Instagram, and also they have a website para lagi kayong updated sa mga ganap nila. Okay. So now, ang tanong ko sa inyong dalawa, di ba parang pastimes ni Heejong sumali ng mga contest, tapos lagi siyang nananalo, pero parang under an alias ni Kim Min-young. Parang lagi niyang strategy. Pero kayo naman, ask yourself, ano yung mga napanalunan nyo nung high school na gusto nyong ikwento ngayon? Best in what?
Ang habang kwento. Ako na lang.
Sige.
Okay. Nung high school, every third year kasi meron kaming every year may parang big play festival. So, in third year, we had this Shakespeare Fest. And then, I played the role of Petruchio, so lalaki. Minsan ayoko nagiging lalaki kasi ako yung matangkad eh. So, automatic parang napupunta ako sa role na yun. Pero okay, fine.
Same!
So, parang okay, Petruchio ko, ganyan. And then, at the end of it kasi, they give out awards and stuff. So, I won Best Actress for that festival.
Wow!
Pero hindi yun yung win ko. Yung win ko is, sobrang galing kong maging lalaki, ang dami nagka-crush sa akin.
Ay, patay tayo dyan! Shout out sa fan club ni Trensho!
To the point na humihingi sila ng 1-by-1 picture ko from my kabarkada. Parang
Oh my God!
Parang like, oh my God, what do you do with this fame? Char?